Governor Ron DeSantis' effort to expand his conservative education agenda suffered some setbacks in Tuesday's primary elections. Out of the 23 school board candidates that DeSantis publicly backed, 11 lost, 6 won, and 6 are headed for runoffs. DeSantis targeted some incumbent school board members for being too liberal, among them Lorei Hine and Eileen Long in Pinellas County, and Nadia Combs and Jessica Vaughn in Hillsborough County. All won despite the governor's opposition. In a third race for an open seat on the Pinellas board, candidate Stacey Geyer, who is backed by Moms for Liberty, is headed for a runoff against Katie Blacksburg. In Sarasota, 2 candidates opposed by DeSantis, Tom Edwards, an incumbent, and Liz Barker, a newcomer, won election to the Sarasota School Board. In Pasco County, another DeSantis-backed candidate, Allison Crumbly, lost to Jessica Wright. And in what has been a very tense battle over the future of Sarasota Memorial Hospital, 4 candidates committed to keeping the hospital publicly owned won their respective races in the Republican primary. They had been opposed by a group of so-called medical freedom advocates, including vaccine and mask skeptics. So, Victor, what's the status of the war on woke now in Florida? How popular is Governor DeSantis' war on woke based on what happened on Tuesday?
This is a perfect example. I'm glad you ran this story because it's a perfect example of what's in store for us here in Florida now and what's going to face us in a few weeks here for the November election. The whole war on woke is going down the drain along with Trump, DeSantis, and the entire Republican agenda because people are tired of it. They're tired of attacking us for books. They're tired of attacking women's rights to choose. They're just tired of it. I worked, Nadia Combs, for example, I must have got 16 mail. I live in the district. I worked with Nadia. She was opposed by the senator's wife. I got half a dozen emailers. Jay Collins' wife, and they spent a record. They spent almost $500,000 on a little school board race, and they still lost.
Okay. Well, there's more to this story though, because I have a client in Osceola County. She's a mom. She's a teacher. She's run a great campaign. She did defeat a DeSantis-backed a gentleman who was installed recently for a vacancy, to fill a vacancy for a person who went to the legislature. And so, but this mom worked hard. So there's more to that story. She's very conservative. She could easily be a quote Moms for Liberty. She just hasn't. And she's working. So I don't think Layla
knocked on doors. She did everything you're supposed to do, and she still lost because her positions were, she was lockstep. She had mailers with Ron DeSantis' picture on it and her. So that proves to me in that district, which we have elections coming up now with Bob Henriquez, Susan Valdez, those people are going to win because people are tired.
Victor, hold on. Let me ask Hunter. Hunter, what's the status of the war on woke here in Florida after Tuesday's primary?
It's still looking good, to be honest with you. There's still 6 people that are in a runoff. So if you look at it mathematically, he's going to have half of the people if those 6 people win. Okay, but to even push the issue more, we have close to 1 million or over 1 million new Republicans registered in Florida. I don't see that running your guys' way in any way, shape, or form. If it was the war on woke was going towards your way, you would be losing. You would be losing Republicans here. We're gaining them.
I don't think we've seen the end of woke. Democrats can't help themselves for being
so
far left.
It's not a million new Republicans. Let's get that very, very, very crystal clear. There are not 1 million new Republicans registered in the state of Florida. Yeah, the gap and the list maintenance and all the fun changes that went through rulemaking and the legislature last year. So I will put that there. That is a misnomer, public.
Hold on.
Nope. Hey, P.S. If you're an inactive voter, you can still vote. So make sure you come out on November 5th. Secondly, if you take what happened in the legislature this year and Passidomo and her letting a lot of these culture war bills die, and you combine it with what just happened in our primary, and Lorei Hine winning by roughly 40%, Eileen Long, who were on DeSantis' hit lists, running against Moms for Liberty, Eileen Long and our 2-to-1 Republican district won by 9 points.
Well, Travis, that's an interesting point. In these elections, primary elections, turnout is low, and Republicans usually dominate turnout in primary elections.
So we didn't really have. I mean, Rick Scott's race was not contested, really.
Exactly.
So there was nothing on the ballot.
But still, Republicans are more reliable voters than Democrats are, and yet during this race, the governor's candidates didn't
Yeah,
do
I
so
hope
well.
the Democrats keep opening
Yeah, because-
more headquarters here because they're gonna really need them. I mean,
Because
Soros
the-
is spending his money in Nevada where he should
Because the
spend it.
polls are
He's
showing.
spending it
Here's
in
the key.
Pennsylvania and
Here's
other
the key. Here's
places.
the key. The independents are fleeing. When we had 2 million more voters than the Republicans still took over the legislature, the cabinet, the governor. Why is that? Because the independents are the key voters in every vote. You got Democrats, Republicans, and independents are fleeing the Republican Party. And with the choice being on the ballot, with marijuana being on the ballot, Republicans are going to be looking at their behinds in the rear mirror.
This convention will be over. The people will have to fill their gas tank. They will have to pay their bills, and they will be reminded this is the Biden-Harris economy, and we can't do price controls. Bet Publix loves that one.
We're not doing price control.